Are you all seeing the screen, Hare Krishna?
Yes, Prabhuji, we see it.
Yeah, we see.
Thank you. Thank you. So, Sadhgujanand Prabhu, can you chant the Pranams mantra?
Yeah, Prabhuji, sure. Manohar Prabhuji said that I have some guests there at home, so maybe he'll be joining shortly. So we'll see. Om Ajnanatimirandasya Jnananjanashalaakaya Chakshuru Unmilitam Yena Tasmai Sri Gurave Namaha. Sri Krishna. Om Ajnanatimirandasya Chakshuru Unmilitam Yena Tasmai Sri Gurave Namaha. Sri Krishna Chaitanya. Hare Krishna. Bhutale Sri Hare Krishna. Sorry, Prabhuji. I think I'm missing there.
Vishnu. Yeah.
चैतन्येन स्वापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपा गदामह्यं ददाति स्वापदान्तिकं वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरुं श्रीयुतपादकमलं श्रीगुरुं वैष्णवां च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सागणरघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनासहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधाकृष्णपादान् सहगणा ललिता विशाखान्वितां च हे कृष्ण
Krishna
करुणा
Karuna Sin.
सिंधु दीनबन्धु जगत्पते गोपीशा
Vaisakopika
गोपिकान्त
Bhanta.
राधा कान्ता
Namaste.
सप्तकान्त गौरङ्गी दावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुतदेवी प्रणमामि हरि
Kripa Sindhu
पतितानं पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः।
नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैता गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण।
Hare Krishna Prabhu. Thank you. Thank you for Hari Bol Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna
So,
Prabhuji. Dhanavad Prabhuji.
Dandavad Hari Bol. Chapter 18. And this chapter is summary. So we are going to see summary of what we have discussed so far in last 17 chapter. So Krishna talked about one should try to be free from the bondage of the karma, karma reactions, because the actions are governed by five factor, and all of the activity that we do are under modes of material nature, unless and until one is transcendently situated in devotional service, their actions are going to be in modes of material nature, which is true, right? Most of the time, our actions are in one of these modes. But the goal is to purify, purify one existence. And the very first steps of purification begins when we engage into prescribed duty. From there, Krishna starts, which is Sakam Karma, by the way. In Sakam Karma, one is engaged in the prescribed duty. And then that elevates up to Brahman realization of Lords. So this is high, this is very high in fact. Brahmameti, Brahmameti, Bhagavaneti Sabdate. From Varnashram, it elevates by engaging in prescribed duty slowly and slowly. One come to the stage of Niskam Karma Yoga, and then through proper knowledge, one comes to the stage of Brahman realization, which includes Brahman, Paramatma also, Paramatma realization also. But Krishna finally concludes that higher than that is engaging in pure devotional service. So this is really a beautiful summary. In fact, that's what we have been talking. So essence of Bhagavad Gita teaching is to come to the stage of pure devotional service. So previous sections, I just thought it's nice to give a summary because this could be a confusion if it's not understood well. What we are talking about is theory, this theory, that, right? So I thought, I made this one this morning. I thought it's better to give you a kind of summary of what we have been going through. So, as per verse number 18, any action that we do has three elements. The knowledge is there, and the object of the knowledge is there, the goal is there. So one has to have the knowledge, and then the what is the goal of that knowledge, and finally one has to engage. So where is my cursor? Oh, I can't see my cursor. So last one should be basically the knower of the knowledge. I didn't, somehow that this change didn't happen. I'm trying to find my cursor. Yes. So that should be knower of the knowledge. So it should be very simple to understand. A knower who has knowledge with a goal engage in activity, right? Any action that we do, that's how it's happening. So knowledge is an instrument. So any action that happens has a karta, which is a subject. So karta is the subject, is the doer. And then he has goal, object. So any action that we do, we have goal, right? The object is there. And based upon that, we use our knowledge. So karta, please remember this. Karta, karma and karna. Karta is subject, UI, and object is karma, the action that we are engaging, and instruments, knowledge. Knowledge are the instruments, karnam. So Krishna says that both this knowledge, karma, and karta are in three modes. That means any action that we do are in three modes. So we have just finished in last class. Knowledge has three modes: Gyan in Satagun, Gyan in Tamagun, Gyan in Rajagun, Karma in Satagun, Karma in Rajagun, Karma in Tamagun, Karta in Satagun, Karta in Rajagun, Karta in Tamagun. So 3 by 3, 9 verses we went through it, right? So any action that we do, it's going to be either the knowledge that we have, which are out of guna, out of three gunas. So based upon what guna we are in, that type of knowledge we have. The karma, the action that we decide, that's also going to have these three types of guna. And doer also are in three guna. So entire action is basically either it's knowledge or karma or karta. They are under these three modes. And then further in verse number 29, Krishna says that but goal is at least to serve or at least be in the mode of goodness. So he says further now that Arjun, how one can always be in the mode of goodness? One has to have the intelligence, buddhi. Buddhi is important. buddhi can be in tamoguna, buddhi can be in rajaguna, and buddhi can be in satoguna. So one has to have the buddhi to know what is the knowledge in satoguna, what is the karma in satoguna, and what is the doer. Who am I as a doer, and which guna we are in. So one has to have that intelligence, which are also in three guna. And not only intelligence, one has to have the determination. So we all know that we have to not do any offense. But many times you will see that we end up doing offense, right? That means our determination is still not formed. So one has to have the intelligence to know what is what. One has to know what is what. And then one has to have the determination, doing the right thing. Determination to do the right thing. Determination to do what is to be done and what is not to be done. And then happiness. In Tamoguni action also there are some happiness. In Rajaguni also there are some happiness. And in Sattaguni also there are some happiness. But one has to have that understanding that what type of happiness is real happiness. Something that's giving me happiness now, but it's going to be cause of my misery. Buddha Tattva Nirvantate. Buddha Tattva Lipyate. The one who has buddhi would not engage in that type of action. Okay. So next we are going to see these three types: intelligence in three types, determination in three types, and happiness in three types. And then after that, Krishna will conclude saying that these are just some of the example I gave you to understand that everything, all the actions that living beings are, all the activity that living beings are engaged in are governed by mode. But one's responsibility is to slowly come out of this guna. And how this begins? It begins with Varnashram Dharma. Okay, so that is how the flow goes. Okay, so this slide is clear to everybody. This is clear. So we finished three types of knowledge, we finished three types of karma, and we finished three types of karta. Now we are going to see intelligence, determination, and happiness. They are also in three types. But before you start seeing intelligence, three types, determination, three types, and happiness, three types, I wanted to give you the background, why we are talking about it. What's the importance of talking these three types of buddhi, dhriti, and shukha. I gave you the background. Okay. So with that, if there is no question, Bimala Mataji, can you continuously just keep on reading? I'll hear. I don't want to say anything. I
Hare
already gave
Krishna,
the background.
Prabhu.
Yeah.
Small question, Prabhu. Prabhu, I hope your health is good. Just
I'm okay.
answer. So we are talking on three modes, right? So goodness, passion, and ignorance. But normally we also says there is no mode at all. So in this, whatever we are talking on goodness is ideally we are turning as a no mode, right? Can you tell me that?
I didn't understand the question once again, Mataji.
Okay, normally, okay, a
We say that
person.
bhakti is not in the any guna. Bhakti is
That's
beyond
what I'm
any
asking
modes.
for. Normally,
Right.
whenever we are discussing on guna, I mean, these three modes are guna, right?
Yeah.
Goodness. So we also discuss no guna.
Right.
Means,
Nirguna. It's called nirguna.
say you need to go more than goodness.
Yeah. Nirguna or Suddha Sattva.
Yes, Suddha Sattva. And
Right.
but in all these, whatever we are referring as a goodness is also little near to Suddha Tattva only, right?
Yeah. Near to Suddha Sattva. I mean, it is Sattva, but still not Suddha Sattva.
Where then what then in that
Yes.
it will be termed as a Suddha Tattva then.
Yes. Anukulenu Krishnanu Silnam Bhaktir Uttamam. So, for example, as long as the action is motivated by some personal desire, but the action is very high, action is high in Sattva-guna, but still it has tinge of some personal desire, then it's not Shuddha Sattva. Shuddha Sattva means Anyavilasita Sunyam Gyan Karmadya Naviritam. When we get into next book, Nectar of Devotion, we'll in the very beginning we'll study what is Shuddha Sattva. Shuddha Sattva means any action that is free from the endeavor of knowledge. Like you are doing Bhakti Sastri. You can think that I am doing Bhakti Sastri so that I will have the knowledge of Bhagavad Gita. Okay. So if you think that I means Santa Mataji, want to have the knowledge of Bhagavad Gita so that people will say that I have the knowledge of Bhagavad Gita. Well, the knowledge of Bhagavad Gita is higher than knowledge of economic science, knowledge of other Dharma Shastra. It's higher. But since you have a desire that I want the knowledge so that I can get name, fame, recognition, then it's Sattva. Because it's Bhagavad Gita, it brings you to Sattva Guna. But once you have desire that no, I just want to study Bhagavad Gita so that I can know what is Shuddha Bhakti, so that I can engage in pure devotional service of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, then it becomes Shuddha Sattva. So that knowledge, when there is some personal desire associated to it, then it's Shuddha Sattva. It's Sattva, Sattva Guni. But when personal desire is out, no, I'm doing it so that I can do pure bhakti of Krishna, so that I can purify myself to engage in devotional service. If that is the intent, then it becomes Shuddha Sattva. So, Gyan and Karma, Anavritam. Anavritam means dropping, liberating, leaving it. So once we are engaged in devotional service, like for example, one person I have been working, that person spent 8-9 hours working on certain thing, and I have been working with that person too in the parallel all the way. At the end of the work, the person said, oh, 8 hours of my time, oh, I spent my 8 hours. That becomes mode of goodness. But if you say, oh, the same thing, oh, Krishna gave me 8 hours of the opportunity to think about him, to remember about him, to engage in his devotional service, it becomes Shuddha Sattva. Okay, so as long as there is personal things, that is why whenever we do cooking, we should not wait for somebody will come and say, Santa Mataji did excellent cooking, good round of applause. Pure devotee doesn't want that. Krishna is looking at it. Anything that I do it for Krishna, for the pleasure of Krishna. Okay, then it becomes Shuddha Sattva. But if it's why it's goodness, because it is connected to Krishna. Since it's connected to Krishna, it's in goodness. But you have your own desire associated to that action, it's in goodness. As long as your desire comes out of it, then it becomes Shuddha Sattva. Did you understand the difference, Mataji?
Yes, Prabhuji. Anything we do for Krishna is goodness, but the feeling what we have or what is the
Yes.
intention you are doing, that one is the matter to that. I mean, goodness versus Sudhata. That's what.
Yes.
Got it.
So if your intent is clean, and I just want to do, like, for example, I have services to do. If I do in a very groovy way, oh, I have a lot of services to do, then it's not good. But I say, Krishna has chosen me, given me the opportunity to engage in his service more. Any service that I do in a very happy mood. I do in a very pleasant way. My dear Lord, thank you so much for giving me this opportunity. With this opportunity, I'm now more engaged in your service. Then it's very good. Then it's my bhakti. It's helping me elevate towards Krishna. But I can do the same survey. Oh, for name, fame, everybody should say that I am a best, I am this, I am that. Falls down. Okay. So so there is fine line. There is fine line, and that we have to understand. And this understanding becomes very clear when we go to next book, Bhakti Samrita Sindhu by Rupa Goswami. Rupa Goswami has very clearly given the definition what is Shuddha Bhakti, what type of bhakti one should engage in. And he starts with Anavilasita Sunyam Gyan Karmadya Anavritam Anukulenu Krishnanu Silnam Bhakti Uttamam. Whatever is anukul, favorable, not against. Those will see that. Out of these, there are six, basically terms here, and we'll understand. We'll spend a lot of time on this verse in next book, Bhakti Samrita Sindhu, to understand what is pure devotional service. Okay, but to summarize, what you said is right. Intent is very, very important. That is why in any service that you do, devotional service, don't expect, don't look for some appreciation. Don't, if somebody is doing appreciation, listen from 1 year, let it go from other year. Say that, my dear Lord, people are appreciating me because I am engaged in your devotional service. So what's making me appreciable? Because my engagement in your devotional service. Pure devotee does not get any credit. No, we don't take any credit of doing good. It's all happening because Krishna. And this doership mentality, Gyan, Karma Anavritam. Like for example, you all have some services to do. I have some service to do. You know, so I should not think that I can do certain thing, or I'm going to be better than XYZ, or I can make the change. No, Krishna, we pray, my dear Lord, if you like me to do something for you, please make me dance, make me dance. Prabhupada said, my dear Lord, if you would like to do something, if you want me to help you promote your preaching, please give me the intelligence. So we always, in every condition, every situation, we depend on Krishna. And if you have that dependency, then it's Suddha Sattva. Then it's pure unalloyed devotion. Otherwise, it's Sattva-guni. Clear? Okay. Santa Mataji, is it clear to you?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Okay. So let's get to the next verse. So this slide is clear, Manohar Prabhu? The intelligence, determination, and happiness we are going to see, okay?
Yeah.
But before we get into that, I just wanted to give you this synopsis so that
Yeah.
you would understand what we are going to talk about. Okay?
Yeah. I mean, just I had a thought like, suppose modes is like three colors, right? And we can do any action in the three modes or a mixture, a various combination of those three modes. Now, with this action with knowledge, object of knowledge, and knower of knowledge into play, and each could be in their own three modes, then the
Right.
permutation combination of that becomes very complicated, right? I mean,
Exactly.
3 into 3 into
That is
3.
right. So many. That
Yeah.
is why sometimes we don't know the action that we are doing, where we are. Exactly. It's very complex, right? That's why Krishna would conclude that Arjun, come out of it. Trigunya Vishaya Vedaya. Nastaragunya Bhava Arjuna. Nastaragun means what? That Mataji was asking. Without any guna. Go beyond the guna. Become nirguna. Nirguna. Don't get impacted by these gunas.
Actually, I mean, it appears out of the three knowledge, object of knowledge, and the uh, knower of the knowledge, karta. Uh, Maybe I don't have control over my modes, but I have control over the object of knowledge. What objective I choose, that I have control on, maybe. But
Yeah,
and
that's what you are right on the point. That's what Krishna is going to talk. How you can control that. You
uh,
can control if you have the proper intelligence.
Right, right. Okay.
And if you have the proper determination,
Mm-hmm.
and if you have proper understanding what is happiness and what is not the happiness, you are right. So how you can control it? You can control if your gyan is, purified. You know what is to be done, what is not to be done. And you have a determination to do that. So this
Mm-hmm.
controlling thing is going to come little bit in next verses.
Okay.
Okay, you are
Mm.
ahead. Oh, good. Okay, so Mataji, start reading from 29 verse. You can just keep on reading. Everybody can hear. If you have any questions, you can ask. Okay.
Okay, Prabhuji. Buddhir dhritashchaiva gunatas shranu prochaya prochayamanam hasheshena prataktvena dhananjaya. O winner of wealth, now please listen as I tell you in detail of the different kind of understanding and determination according to the three modes of material nature. 30. Buddhi in goodness. Pravritim cha nivritim cha karya baya bandham moksham chaya vetti buddhi sa partha satviki. One would know what is to be done and not be done, to be feared and not to be feared, binding and liberating.
Yes, Mataji, continue. I think it's clear.
Yeah. Buddhi in patient, yaya dharmam adharmam cha, karyam chakaryam eva cha, ayatavat prajanati buddhi sa partha rajasi. One cannot distinguish between religion and irreligion, action to be done and not to be done. Buddhi in ignorance. Adharmam dharmam itiya manyate tamasavrata sarvartan viparitamscha buddhi sa partha tamasi. Consider irreligion to be religion and religion to be irreligion. Takes everything in the opposite direction of the truth.
So you can see the difference in goodness and passion and ignorance, right? In terms of intelligence. In intelligence, in goodness, once if one's intelligence is in goodness, one knows what to be done and what not to be done. That itself is a big thing, right? Meat eating. Should we do or not? People say, what is the problem? A man who is in the mode of goodness, whose intelligence in the mode of goodness, he would know that no, why should we do the meat eating? What's the benefit of it? What it does? Why I should be cause of suffering? I see sometimes, I know I have seen in India, they kill the fish live. They cut their fins while they are still alive. They chop a live fish. Oh my gosh, when I remember now, I just cry. I can't see that now anymore. I have seen it. Why? Why to do that? Why to be the cause of suffering of some other living entity? This is the passion, just the compassion, the compassion that living entity has. I have seen a live fish they will throw into the pan for cooking. My dear Lord, I can't see that. To be feared and not to be feared. Satya Kam, why to be feared? Dharmo Rakshita Rakshati. And Adharm Kam, he is fearful. He don't want to be, engaged in adharmic activity. What is binding and what is liberating? What type of action I should go do that will liberate me? Even if I'm not getting Shuddha Bhakti, but I'm not as strongly bounded by reactions. It's better to be in Shuddha Sattva, but if I can't be there, at least I would like to be in Sattva Guni. Don't want to be Tamaguni. So these are very important things to understand. Okay, Mataji. Now see the Dhriti, determination in goodness.
Dhriti in goodness. Dhritiya yaya dharayate manaha pranendriya kriyaha yogenavya abhicharinya dhritihi sa partha satviki. Unbreakable, sustained by yoga practice, controls the activities of the mind, life, and senses. Dhriti in passion. Yayatu dharma karmartan dhritiya dharayate arjuna prasangena Falakankshi Dhritihi sa partha rajasi. Desiring fruitive result in religion, economic development, and sense gratification in the association of similar people. Prasangena. Dhriti in ignorance. Yaya स्वप्नं भयं शोकं विषादं मदम् एव च न विमुञ्चति दुर्मेधा धृतिः स पार्थ तामसी cannot go beyond dreaming swapnam fearfulness bayam lamentation sokam moroseness vishadam and illusion madam happiness. Can you continue, Prabhu?
Yeah, Mataji.
Okay. Happiness, Sukham in three moods. Sukham in goodness. Sukham tva idanim trividam. Shrunu me bharatar shaba. Abhyasat ramate yatra. Dukkantam cha nigachati. Brings joy and destroys sorrow by practice. Like poison in the beginning, becomes nectar at the end. Arises from purity of intellect, awakens one to self-realization. Yettat agre visham iva
Parinam.
परिणामी अमृतोपम तत्सुखम सात्विकम प्रोक्तम आत्म बुद्धि प्रसादाजम.
Thank you. Thank you, Mataji. So, determination is in goodness also, and determination is in passion and in ignorance also. You will see the people who are very determined in the material world, they say, be determined, be determined that I have to achieve this much in my life. You know, so any fruitive result, phala akanchi. Akanchi means the one who has desire, phala means result. Phala akanchi, the one who is having fruitive goals, they also have to have the determination, right? They say that, when if you go and take the classes of modern gurus of economic and social development, they will say you need firm determination. Every day, you write in your on your wall, that I have to be success in my life by 5 years. Every day you get up, you look at it. In 5 years, I have to be master of $1 billion. In 5 years, I have to be the master of $1 billion. That's also determination. But Krishna says that determination is in mode of passion. If one is determined in the mode of goodness, then his determination is going to be based on yoga practices. Krishna says that become my devotee, worship me, and without any fail, you'll come to me. Right? So his determination will be, how can I become devotee of Krishna? Because Krishna has said in Bhagavad Gita that without any failure, you'll come to me. So that is in the mode of goodness. But that person might be failing. We might be failing. The form determination doesn't come unless and until we come to the stage of anartha nivritti. As long as there is a desire of anartha, or there is some anartha in our personal dealing, we cannot have form determination. You'll make a vows, but soon it will break. But at least you are making the vows, you are trying to get there, and it's associated to Krishna, so it's in mode of goodness. Likewise, Krishna talks about sukham. Sukham is, everybody is looking for some degree of happiness, okay? So what he's saying, the sukham in the happiness brings joy and destroys sorrow. Now, that also needs some degree of intelligence to understand what is meaning of bringing the joy and destroying the sorrow. Well, it's like it's like uh, it's like nectar. Okay, it might not be very tasty, but it will make you immortal, right? So longevity, long-sightedness, far-sightedness. The person who has understanding of what is real happiness, he will be very foresightful. Now, right now, I might be going through the poison, but I know at the end there will be nectar. So that understanding is very important to engage in the process of bhakti. Many times you will hear people will say, that I have heard it. I don't know if you have heard or not. I've heard people saying that, oh, I started doing bhakti, and in the very beginning, I had XYZ happening in my life. All you know, inauspicious stuff has started happening in my life. I left. I thought this is not good for me. I have seen it. I've heard it. I know. You know, some of my friends in the beginning days. So, but a person who understands what is real goodness, he will have this firm determination that no, 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 no. Right now it's sounding like a poison, but later it's going to be nectar. So he'll perform, he'll continue the process of bhakti. So happiness we saw in the mode of goodness. Let's see in the passion and ignorance. Mataji, please continue.
Shukam in passion. Vishayendriya samayogat yettat agre mritopamam. Pariname visham iva tat sugam rajasam smritam. Arises from contact of the senses with sense objects, appears like nectar in the beginning, becomes poison at the end. Shukam in ignorance. Yet agre chanu bandecha shukam mohanam atmanah. Nidralaya pramadotam tat tamasam udahritam. Blind to self-realization, delusion from beginning to end arises from sleep, laziness, and illusion or intoxication. Summary of the influence of moods. Natat ashti pritivyam va divi deveshu va punaha satvam prakriti jair muktam yet ebi syatribhi gunahi. There is no being exists on earth or heaven which is freed from this modes born of material nature. Among all things made of the three gunas, those in the mode of goodness should be accepted because they alone are useful, and those things in the lower modes should be rejected. The living body, filled with the three modes, becomes successful by worshipping the Supreme Lord by prescribed activities according to one's acquired nature. This is described in next 6 verses.
Thank you. So we saw many examples here, and all of these we just saw to understand that every endeavor that is being done in the material world is falling under these three guna. And then we saw all of these examples. Okay, so now in the next set of verses, Krishna is going to start helping the living being how one can start coming out of it. Okay, you saw the beautiful verse. This is a conclusive verse that says, Natad asti prithivayam va. On this earthly planet, natad, there is no body. Okay, who is yad yadivi shat trivir guna, who is free from this shat, this trivir, this triguna. There is no body in this material world who are free from this triguna. So all of us are very much bound by this triguna. But how slowly and slowly, from here, it's very important that we pay attention and see the conclusive verses of Bhagavad Gita starting from here. So let's start. First, Krishna, on the very beginning, Krishna starts talking about Varnashram Dharma. Under Varnashram Dharma, one is engaged in prescribed duty. So let's see now from verse number 41. Mataji, start.
Yeah. Brahmana Kshatriya Visham Shudranam cha Paramtapa Karmani Pravibhaktani Swabhava Prabhavair Gunaihi. Brahmanas, Kshatriyas, Vaisyas, and Sudras are distinguished by the qualities born of their own nature in accordance with the material modes.
So you can see here, Krishna is saying that Karmani pravabhivaktani. Pravabhivaktani. So these are not based on birth as normally is being conceived in Hindu society. Krishna says that these are qualities, their guna, born out of their own nature. So this is not birthright, but this is a specific nature that the living being has. And there Guru comes in practice. Guru comes in uh, Guru comes as a Patpadarshaka who can show what is your guna. So gun karma vibhagsa. This distinction is based on guna and karma. Hold on, somebody is calling. So we have to understand this is not birthright, right? This has been very exploited in India right now. They say that you are born in Sudra, Harijan Samaj, this Samaj, that Samaj. Krishna doesn't accept any one of these. He says that one karma, gun karma vibhagsa. This is based on guna and karma. So as we are going through this, please keep gun and karma in your mind and don't see as a uh, birthright. Then it will make more sense. Yes, Mataji, please continue. Quality of Brahmana. Let's see what are the quality of Brahmana.
Yeah, qualities of Brahmanas. Samodamas tapasaucham, peacefulness, self-control, austerity, cleanliness. Shantir arjavam evacha, tolerance, honesty. Jnanam, vinyanam, astikyam, knowledge, wisdom, and religious. These are the Brahma Karma Swabhavajam, natural qualities by which the Brahmanas work.
Right.
Qualities.
So samo means equal vision. Prabhupada translated peacefulness. Daman, control, self-control. So one should be peaceful, have self-control, and austere. Brahmin is supposed to be austere. And socham, clean. Shantir, not being impacted by the vidvegam, the force of senses. And arjvam, honesty. Jnanam, Brahmin has to have the Gyan and Bigyanam, critical Gyanam, Tehamsa Bigyanam, idam. So Gyan is knowledge and Bigyan is realization. Here it says wisdom. Wisdom means realization. So Gyan and realization. And very important word here, Astikyam. You will find many Brahmin will say, I don't believe in God. What is God? Where is God? They don't, even they are taking birth in a Brahmin family, but they will be meat eater. They have no damans. They don't have self-control. They are not clean. So these are the quality by which a Brahmana is known. Okay. So if this quality, Manu Smriti says that if you find Vidya in the house of a Shudra, you should go and receive it from Shudra. If you found a beautiful woman who has all Saragun Sampan as a daughter of a Shudra, Brahmin should never hesitate to marry to that lady because she has all the guna. So Shastra or even Dharma Shastra, up to some extent, some part of Dharma Shastra does, but not every. doesn't advise mankind to go against the guna and karma. It advises that one should go with guna and karma. So this is the verse that you can cite when you are giving classes, and if there is some context where you have to define who is Brahmana. Brahmana is there. Samudama tapasacham shanti rajam evacha jnanam vijnanam astikyam brahma karma svabhavajan. So this is the svabhavajam. This is the quality. Svabhava means gun, quality. This is jam means to be known. So how Brahmana is known? Brahmana is known by these qualities. So this is a beautiful verse. If you have to, sometimes who is Brahmana comes, right? You can go through. Remember verse number 42 of chapter 18 has given the definition of Brahmana. Okay. Now let's see the definition of Kshatriya, Mataji.
One quick question.
Yeah.
Tejo Dati
Um,
Sauryam. Sorry.
Yeah, so here knowledge and Jnanam, Vijnanam, you mentioned Roji. So here, Vijnana is a realized knowledge. So I heard or remember example of knowledge is touch the fire is a knowledge. If you touch the fire, you will burn. That is a knowledge. But if you are really touched the fire and experience the pain, that is the realized knowledge. Is it a good example, Prabhuji, in this context?
Yeah, I mean this is a good example because you know that fire burns,
Yes, that is a knowledge.
right? But when you get burned, then you know the degree of burning,
Yes.
then you really realize. But realized knowledge here means knowledge is theoretical and realized knowledge is practical. So here, knowledge and wisdom means a person who knows the knowledge, he also implements that knowledge in his practical life. Like for example, that Krishna is the supreme personality of Godhead, and bhakti is the topmost process, right? So one has the knowledge that Krishna is the ultimate goal and bhakti is the finest process. And Krishna can be Krishna Pumarthu Mahan, let's put it that way. Having prema for supreme personality of Godhead is the ultimate goal of the life. Now, one may know this, but one will engage in Ashtanga Yoga, one will engage in Jnana Yoga and meditate on Brahman and Paramatma or meditate on Brahman. You will see many a scholar in India. They are born in a Brahmin family. They are very scholar in Sanskrit. They would literally tell the meaning, but they have wrong interpretation. They know something else and they do something else. So here, Vijnana means practical application of the Jnana. Practically implementing it, implementing the knowledge that you have, ahimsa paramo dharma. Okay, so if ahimsa is paramo dharma, then I'm not going to be engaged in hinsa, right? So wisdom here refers to application of the knowledge, and that application he has realized either sometimes by burning his finger, or sometimes he doesn't have to even burn his finger, but he knows that this is truth, and once he knows the truth, then he implements it. Because without Vigyan, Gyan is also not complete. If you have the Gyan and if you don't apply it, then there is no point of that. But if you are implementing it, that is why devotee is real Gyani. Prabhupada has many places says. Why? Because whatever knowledge he has, he is implementing it. So he has both Jnanam, Vijnanam, Sahitam. He is both equipped with Gyan and Vigyan. A beautiful example is given that a bird was one caught in the net, right? And the bird was caught and suffering and flapping, trying to get out of it. Then one saintly person came and took the bird out and taught the bird, saying that a hunter will come, he will throw the grain on his net, but you never get attracted to it. So in हिंदी से प्याधा आएगा जाल बिछाएगा लेकिन उसमें बैठना नहीं, something like that. A hunter will come, he will flap his net, but remember not to sit on it. Okay, so he remember प्याधा आएगा जाल बिछाएगा लेकिन उसमें बैठना नहीं, something like that. And one day the hunter came and he threw his net and grains and the bird went and sat saying प्यादा आएगा जाल बिछाएगा लेकिन उसमें बैठना नहीं. Are you following me? So what is the value of that gyan? He did not implement the knowledge that he has received from his spiritual master, who has said that a hunter will come, he will throw the grain and net, but make sure to not sit on it. But
He repeated, but he did not implement it. That's what.
huh?
He did not implement it. The bird
He did
did not.
not, yeah. So a Brahmin could have, he could be very learned in reciting the verses, big scholar Sanskrit verses, but in his personal life, he is not implementing it. That means he does not have the big jnana. Okay, so we should also see who is jnani and who has big jnana. A person who has big jnana has real jnana also, because he is applying that knowledge. So a Brahman not only have the knowledge, but he also implement it. He will implement for his benefit and for the benefit of others.
Yeah, that
Clear,
is
Prabhu?
that is a good example. Thank you, Hare Krishna. Thank you.
So wisdom has to be there. The practical knowledge has to be there. Vijnanam is very, very important. And for devotees also, same thing. We are best now. We are trying to be even higher than Brahman, which means all of these qualities that Brahman has, Vaishnava has this quality. As a devotee, we are peaceful, or we should try to be peaceful. We have self-control. We live austere life. We are living very austere life. We are cleaning ourselves at least twice, thrice a day, 3 times a day. We are tolerant. We are, for sure, most of us are very honest, right? We are very honest. We have some gyan, shastric gyan, Guru, whatever Guru Shastra and Sadhu has given, that gyan we have. And under their guidance, we are trying to implement it. And we are also astik. Astikyam, we are not nastik. We believe in God, although we have once seen Krishna, but we have firm faith that Krishna will protect me. So we have all of these qualities. But on top of that, we are also trying to be devotee of Supreme Personality of Godhead. Good. Thank you. Okay, Mataji. Now, verse number 43.
Qualities of Kshatriyas: Sauryam, Tejo, Dhriti, Dakshyam, heroism, power, determination, resourcefulness. Yuddhe chapi apalayanam, courage in the battle, not fleeing. Danam, Ishvara bhavascha, generosity and leadership. Shatram, karma, swabhavam jam, or the natural qualities of work for the Kshatriyas.
Good. Please continue.
Qualities of Vaishyas and Sudras. Krishigo Rakshya Vanijyam. Vaishya Karma Swabhavaj. Krishigo Rakshya Vanijyam. Farming, cow protection, and business. Vaishya Karma Swabhavajam, or the natural duties of for the Vaishyas. Parichayatmakam Karma, labor and service to the other Varnas. Sudras Yapi Swabhavajam, or the natural duties of the Sudras.
So these are not forced, by the way, right? This is very important to understand. Sudrayapi swabhavajam. Swabhava word is being used. Paricharyatmakam karma. Paricharyatmaka means the one. Paricharya means one who is engaged in other service. Right? Krishi Gorakshaya Vanijyam. There are people, who give preference to have their own business versus spending time in the college. Even if you go today in the society, you'll see people. They say, that, oh, 4 years undergrad, 2 years master, 6 years minimum, 4 years for PhD, 10 years plus 10 years of high school, 20 years. You start, going to school after 5 or 6 years. So this is all making up around 30 to 33 years. 33 years of the time we have to live 100 years. 33 years of prime time we spend going to school. After PhD, might be end up doing a year and a half postdoc. So 35, at 35 years, you comes out of all of your education and everything else. Not granted what job you'll get. Even if you get job, they'll say that, oh, you have PhD, but you need to, have degree in management to become manager, this and that. So you'll say, no, it's better to just engage in our own business. I can start my own business, and people prefer their own business. So these are the swabhavajam. These are the natural qualities, not artificially imposed upon someone. It's not artificial. It naturally comes in a person. So these qualities are natural. If we see this quality underlying in somebody naturally, then based upon that quality, we understand what is the varna of that person. So we can look through this to understand what is my varna. I can tell you for sure, farming, cow protection and business, Krishi Go Raksha Vanijam never attracted me. Okay, from very childhood, I was very attracted to education, going to school, having high education. That was my nature, having knowledge about things. That was my inherent quality. That's how I am today. If I have to do something versus study, I would pull one of the book out and read what in this space saying. you know so this is my natural quality, right? Music is my natural quality, although I'm engineer. But if I would have born into a family where I would have from very childhood got the opportunity to work on singing, and instrument playing, I would have become musician is my real core thing. Education and music, they are the two things is my natural quality. If I have no time, if I have all the time, I'll study. Whenever I get free time, I'll open. I like studying things, different books. Now I have all the Acharya's books. I like reading it. Sometimes maybe a little bit far off, too much of a philosophy, but that's my nature. Or I would like to spend time on music. So likewise, I'm sure all of you have some specific nature. So please give some time to understand what is your nature, and based upon that, you engage yourself in devotional service. And Prabhupada said that Krishna consciousness has very wide portfolio. On the gamut, there are everything for everybody. And if you find something that is matching with your natural quality, dear devotee, I can tell you, you'll keep on doing, keep on doing, keep on doing, keep on doing, never get tired, never get bored, no complaint, nothing, right? It becomes spontaneous. So find something where you are at and use that in service of Krishna, right? So that's what Krishna is saying here. That, first find your nature, and then according to your nature, engage in that service. Because since it's your nature, it's never going to be heavy on you. And he will say later that I told you that this is the quality of a Brahman, this is the quality of a Kshatriya, this is the quality of the Vaisya and Sudra. But even if you can perform somebody else's duty better, but if you don't have that, your nature, don't do that. Rather, you do your own duty, which is based on your nature. That will slowly elevate you and take you to the higher stage. So we'll just conclude here. This understanding of Varna is very important. Okay, don't just take it as a Brahman, Kshatriya, Vaishya, or Shudra in existing context. Rather, give a new definitions to it and see who you are and how that quality, Krishna will help later, how this quality can be engaged in devotional service. If you are good at cooking, good, do cooking for Krishna. All the services have equal importance. That's why, when somebody sometimes say that this service is very important. No, everything is very important. Everything is very important. If you understand the intent of service is to serve Supreme Personality of Godhead. Intent of service is to purify, right? So if we take the service in that way, then all the services are very important. Every services are very important. Okay. So I would like to conclude here, and we'll build on this little bit more. We'll build on this more. This is very critical, very applicable context for us. So we'll talk more about that next class. Yes, Mataji, please go ahead.
Okay. As we are talking more, I'm fine. Just because suppose if I take me, if I see all these qualities, so it's all mix of qualities in all, right? We have Brahmana qualities, some of the Kshatriya qualities, some of the Sudra qualities, and all, right? So means suppose if I wanted to be in a particular category, how can I?
I think we as a person are definitely combination of multiple quality. That part I agree. So there are, prominent quality you have, then there are secondary, then tertiary, then quarterly, like that. So you have to basically see in yourself. I'm sure all of us have one or two quality that is more prominent in ourselves, and you would be knowing by now that what is the thing that is very prominent in you. So if I ask you, what is the one thing that you like doing the most? What is prominent in you? And there might not be so many things. There might be one or two things. Tell me, what is very prominent in you, Mataji? Reading, music, chant. What is prominent? Cooking, taking care of the babies, family. There might be something, or there is nothing. If there is nothing, then look at it. I'm sure there will be one or two quality that will be very prominent in you.
Sure, Prabhu. Maybe we'll
Please
discuss
look into it and see.
next
You will
class. Yeah.
find out. You'll find out that there are, one or two unique quality that you have, very unique, that you only have, by the way, and you have that, in a very prominent way in your personality. Yeah. So let's take that as a homework type of thing, and everybody tries to look into themselves and see what are top three quality you have in your, as a person. We'll talk next week from there. What are the top three things you have? Forget about this. Don't put yourself in Brahmin, Kshatriya, Vaishya, or Sudra category right now. Don't take that mask out. Just see what are the topmost quality you have.
Prabhuji, can I
Yeah,
add?
yeah,
Yes, I can see that, Prabhuji. I like cleaning and plants, so I see my qualities, to as serve as like cleaner, I would say, but also like plants wise, I see that I always get attracted to plants. So somehow or the other, I just end up
right.
to the
So
garden.
application, so the application of this teaching is not to make you feel that okay, Mataji, either you are Vaishya or Sudra. But the application of this teaching is that you have cleaning, and cleaning as a natural quality, you have gardening as a natural quality. So how these two quality can be used in service of Krishna, and you are using those two in service of Krishna. If you look at the flyer, your name is there. If anybody wants to do the garden, please contact Bina Mataji. So that's the importance. That's a good service for you. You know, this is engaging you in devotional service of Krishna. That service you keep on doing, keep on doing, keep on doing. You don't know how much mercy you get. You don't get tired, and you are elevating in Krishna consciousness, going towards Krishna. That's very good. Yes. So likewise, I think everybody else can. I
Sure,
told you, you
Prabhuji,
know.
because whatever we are good in, normally, suppose my whole thing is like a more on technical side,
Yes.
means like IT, right? So, so whatever if you list all this,
Even in that technical side, there will be something like creativity, you know, so creating something, ideation, or there will be something that will be drawing you more. You know, I know, see what is that. Find out. You will find out. There is something like as Mataji said. I was going to tell the same thing to about Mataji, but Mataji, you know, told that if you ask me, if you observe me from outside, without even telling me, you will find that that's what I do. Right, Mataji?
yeah.
Music attracts me. Study attracts me. Studying.
Okay.
Right?
I think that's what whatever suppose if some other also whatever prominently seeing, right?
Yeah, these are
Because
like
whatever currently we are also doing here.
exactly more or less, you know, and you will see that that type of services we have taken. So there are people, you know, who like, you know, I'm very much into preaching. You know, that's why I'm doing these classes and courses. I'm too much into preaching. You know, you ask me to preach hours and hours, I'll keep on talking about Shastra and preaching, and I would not get tired. You ask me to make a PowerPoint presentation on XYZ topic right now, I can start making. And my wife will be saying, "Come, eat, eat, eat," but I'll be making PowerPoint presentation because that's my, you know, natural inclination, you know, to preach. And so that's how that's one of the reason I started doing all of these services, because I found that my interest is here. So why should I try to go and, you know, something that I am not? You know, if somebody will ask me, Prabhu, uh, go and do the cooking. Can I do cooking? Yes. Me and my wife has done cooking so many years in Krishna Balram, you know, in Radha's Kalachandi temple. But I can tell you that after 2-3 hours of working, I get tired because I'm not there. But if you ask me to, I know, host a festival or do something for preaching, you know, where mass of people are coming and you have to get on. I have a spontaneous nature. When I get, you know, I don't have to prepare. But put me in front of the people, I would suddenly start acting very differently, unexpected way. You know, I start performing very good in front of people. I don't get, you know, fear of crowd. I don't have that. Just put me in any presentation. So these are certain things that I have, you know, you have to notice. I have a diary I write, you know, what I'm doing, what I'm, so I have already gone through this exercise, and what I'm telling you is outcome of my, that I know these are the things. So when I select the service, I pick services in this area, but that doesn't mean that I should not be doing other services, you know. But what I'm trying to tell here is that this is the intent of this discussion, that find your natural quality and start from there, you know, start engaging that in service of Krishna, and that will leads towards purification through prescribed duty of varnashram dharma. How this purification will happen? When we engage that, when we engage that prescribed nature that we have in service of Krishna, that will lead to purification, fast, rapid purification. Anything anybody has that they would like to share before we adjourn? So next class we'll talk, and please be prepared to share one or two of your natural quality, and then we'll continue hearing from Krishna, and then we'll get into Brahman stage, Brahman platform, and then finally to the pure bhakti, and this chapter will finish. So let me stop sharing the screen.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Can I quickly say something?
Yeah, please go ahead, Mataji.
So, it's not related to this topic, but I think I did a good job. So I just want to tell you something. So today, at work, I had a Nigerian Kenya guy, a person from Kenya, and we were talking about I wanted to know what was his ancestors' knowledge or what they were doing, they used to do. So
Uh-huh.
I just wanted to find out, where their ancestors were at the level of, at the higher level or lower level. So then he said that, I heard that, in India, the cow they prayed to the cows, and he laughed. And I said, why
Mm.
are you laughing? And because that then he said that, oh, because we were learning about it, and it sounded very funny that they pray to the god that something that we eat. I said, then I gave him such a big lecture, and then he ran away. I mean, he did not turn back, he did not want to hear. So it was like so much of ignorance, like I could see.
Yeah.
And some people, they don't even want to know about, the higher knowledge that
No.
so what a
Yeah.
sad thing.
They don't want to know because that put break in their way of living.
Yes.
You're right. They don't want to hear. Or they want to hear their own version. That will
Yes.
still let them do the sense gratification.
Mhm.
Yes. I agree with that. Thank you, Hare Krishna. So I'm good now. I think we'll continue our classes now next week onward. Sorry for some interruption, but we should be finishing this chapter very soon, and we have to start getting into new discussion. Thank you.
That's very interesting, Prabhuji. You mentioned about finding your talent. So sometimes we idealize things and say, "This I should be doing," and therefore we do it. We
Yeah.
superimpose our natural abilities on what we uh, idealize ourselves to be doing. So that I don't know. I always get
I
confused.
have failed. I have failed. I can tell you.
Okay.
I couldn't make it long. Then
Okay.
I said that and also some of my advisor suggested that the best way is that see where is your strength
Uh-huh.
and use start the, otherwise after few it will become boring.
Mm-hmm.
Bhakti will become boring to you because you are
Mm-hmm.
Krishna is saying in the letter that even if you can perform somebody else's duty perfectly, don't do that. Do yours on even with some fault because every fire has a smoke. But if you take
Mm-hmm.
the smoke out, then it becomes fire only. So we have to take the smoke out and keep the fire only.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's interesting. Yeah. It's a mystery. I mean, we have to introspect and find out what is our best area so that we can do our best. But yeah, sometimes we. I mean, for me, it's very difficult. I'm still now not able to figure out.
Now that's what I'm saying. So take
Yeah.
this next week
Okay.
and try to. Oh,
Okay.
next Saturday we have Rath Yatra here. I just
Oh, okay.
remember.
In Atlanta.
So no, here in St. Louis.
Oh, St. Louis. Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh,
So I
maybe
was
we should
thinking,
come there.
yeah, please come for Rath Yatra,
Oh.
and we might do class on Friday. I'll let you know.
Oh, okay. Mm.
But yes, Prabhu, please take this time to figure out
Yeah.
what is your natural inclination.
Yeah.
Everybody, please.
Hmm.
Thank you.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Vanchkal Patare Vesa Kripa Sindhu Vesa Patitanam Pavane Vaishnava Namo Namah.